how have each one of these helped you to achieve a more balanced life? Let's talk about the hobby thing, because like I said, I love guitar and I just find it so hard to make time for it. I mean, I've done it my entire life, but how can having a hobby or a passion or anything like that, how can that benefit you in your day-to-day life?
So what I've discovered is that photography is my favorite hobby. I'm also a writer, but I'm also a freelance writer too. So it's a little muddier of what's work and what's not. But photography is something that I've loved since I was a kid. And when I started to get serious about having a real hobby, I realized that I'm actually a good photographer. And
Yeah.
when I show people my work and my photography, they like it, and I regularly have people who follow me on Instagram who say just how amazing they said. I like all these things that I just didn't think. To me, it's just how I see what I see through the lens. I never thought of it as being something that could be so impactful for some people. And so that did two things. One, it gave me something that was valuable to me that I could do it was kind of like a job. So it was like, it's a
Yeah.
little bit productive.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
doing something, but also it's just something I love to do, and I could get totally lost in it. And I think that's a big part of it, getting totally lost in something that you just like to do for the sake of doing it. And then it also gave me a little self-esteem boost. And even though I've accomplished a lot in my career and I feel like I do a good job and I get good responses from my clients, but I also, it was nice to think of myself in a broader context, that I'm not just this HR professional, this freelance writer, this whatever my business says I am. I'm not just an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And I'm not just measuring myself based on my work accomplishments. I can be like, I am still trying to master night photography. So
Exactly.
that's so that's something else that's just, it adds another layer to who I am and how I
Yes.
see myself and how I value myself.
It can be, and I want to just talk about that for a second. It can be unhealthy to just put everything in your whole life into like your identity as an entrepreneur, for instance,
Mm-hmm.
because what happens when your business comes crashing down because sales are down? You know, your whole identity is like, oh, everything I know about myself is coming crashing down, and people's value and their sense of self-worth starts to deteriorate. So
Mm-hmm.
I think by having those hobbies it just really opens up your eyes to realizing that you are not just your one job. And I'm glad you brought that to light.
Yeah.